Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 with Jools. We definitely had a lot to talk about the first time around, so I wanted to make sure I finished all my questions. So, Jools, obviously we haven't left.
Right.
Right? So,
hey, how's it going? Good to see you again.
It's either that or we don't change very often.
Right, exactly.
Right. So, I will pick up the question right where we left off.
All right, cool.
So, speaking of marketing, you also mentioned on your blog that you thought Nintendo made a lot of missteps with the Wii U and the launch of the Wii U.
Right.
So my question to you is, how do you think Nintendo is going to be represented, not in this current generation, right? So PS4 and Xbox One, or Xbox One, whatever it's called this week.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun name.
How do you think?
Like after that, the next generation?
What, 5 to 10 years out? I know that's a big stretch.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll be a console player, or are they going to do the Sega thing?
And first of all, I should definitely state that I love Nintendo. So, I mean, even though I criticize them, I think everyone's open to criticism, and I am too. And people throw that at me all the time.
If you didn't love them, you wouldn't care so much to criticize.
And I really do. They are my favorite. Even if I'm going to work with Sony and someone else, I don't mind saying I just love Nintendo. The way they make games, make machines is unlike anyone else. It's amazing. They really are. They're very impressive. They really know their stuff. That's why it bothers me so much of how they've made some few missteps with the Wii U. But I think they'll be around. I think they'll always be around because they're really good at what they do. I mean, the consoles they make are really clever. Not only for us as people who are going to play them and make them interesting and have variety in the way we can interact with games, but also really smart business people where they create their hardware cost effectively. So they don't necessarily put the most expensive, best, badasses, whatever stuff in it to make it, like Sony and Microsoft tend to do. They make it very carefully, and they may sometimes use old gen tech bolted on something a little bit new to make it a little bit better and stuff like that, and they kind of cobble it together in a very crafted way where they can sell it at a profit and it's still a great experience, and they're masters of that with the Game Boy, with the GBA, with the Wii, the Wii U. Everything they've done has always been that way. It's very clever. Even the Super Nintendo technically wasn't 16-bit. It was kind of 8-bit with some really awesome graphic cards bolted on and all this stuff. It's really interesting. Like the resolution was terrible, honestly. It wasn't even, it was like maybe 256 wide? Not sure.
Don't tread on my childhood memories.
Oh man, I love the SNES.
Don't make me cry.
But they bolstered it with an amazing graphics card, and it looked amazing, right? Super Mario World was like, what? When that came out, it was like nothing like that had ever been seen before. And they knew what they were doing. They're like, put these things together, sell it at a profit, boom, people are gonna love it. Anyway, so they're masters of that. So I hope they never stop. I don't think they'll ever stop. And I think the other thing a lot of people maybe don't realize or forget quickly is they have more money than some countries. They have so much money in the bank.
More money than some countries.
They're in a financially really good spot. They have a lot of cash. They're what's the word? Cash happy? What's the one? Cash rich? Whatever. They have a lot of cash.
They got more money than us.
Yes, exactly. And whether right now they might not be making profit on the Wii U, I'm not sure, but they're certainly not going to fail in their eyes. Yes, they're investors, and other people may say, oh, you failed, blah, whatever, but I think at the end of the day, it'll be a good business situation for them at the end of the Wii U era. So anyway, short version is yes, I think they continue. They're doing both consoles and handhelds. And
the next question is, we've been talking about Mutant Mudds and Nintendo-like games and things like that.
Right.
With Moon and Dementium, like first-person shooters and of course scary games, right? How do you make the leap to something so happy and joyful and smiley?
It was a little bit different. Yeah, I think it comes down to we like to make the types of games we like to play.
Okay.
Really, it's kind of as simple as that. We did Dementium because we thought it would be interesting and different for the DS, and I know a lot of developers, it seems they'll kind of stick to one genre or even one game sometimes, and just do that forever, and that's great, but we're not that team. We like to kind of just try and change and do things, and we did Dementium from our love of Silent Hill 2 and games like that, and Resident Evil. And then we moved on to Moon, lots of different inspirations for that. And when it came down to Mudds, we're like, hey, I've wanted to make a platform game since I saw Super Mario World on the SNES. I saw a Japanese import. I'm not sure what year it was, but it's probably like 20 odd years ago. Mm-hmm. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, it was so fresh and new to me. And so my desire to make a game of that type has been brewing for a long time. So like, finally, let's just do it. And I think with the advent of the eShop, on the 3DS, it was perfect. We can just do this little game and get it out there. And there's no way a publisher would have put that in a box, on the shelf. It wouldn't happen, unfortunately.
Had you ever approached publishers for the game, or
not with that one? Originally Mutant Mudds used to be called Maximilian and the Rise of Mutant Mudds, and it was a 3D platformer. So there's a 3D geometry guy jumping around, kind of like Mario Galaxy style. That was on the DS, ironically. So we made that, and we were shopping that around to try and get that published, but never could. So it kind of died for a while, and then just kind of resurfaced as a 2D platformer.
Okay.
Kind of weird, yeah.
Right on.
Strange story, yeah.
So now, with the success of Mutant Mudds, where do you see what's your next steps, right? So it's always that question of, do you fall into the sequels, or do you try and go out and do something different?
Right. I think we're going to do both.
Okay.
Actually, we're definitely going to do Mudds 2, because I want to jump back in that universe because it's fun. It's a really fun place to be, and really the first game, it's actually amazing to me, and it still blows me away that anyone honestly cares about it. And I'm not trying to be some weird, humble dude or whatever, but it was very much a personal kind of game. It was very much made for me, very selfish. Really the things you're not supposed to do in game development.
Yep.
But I didn't really care because it was a small game, we're doing it on the side, we were making other games at the time. It was very much a side pet project. Get it out in the eShop. If it doesn't do well, who cares? At least I got it out of my system. Yay, move on. So it's very simple. There's no bosses. There's only 3 power-ups. There's a bunch of levels. It's very. It can be very repetitious when you analyze it. You're doing the same thing over 60-odd levels. Now there's 80 levels in the Wii U version. So it's pretty basic. So I'd love to take that and just amp it up. Just do more of everything.
Okay.
Bosses, just the whole shebang. Just really just go to town, make it a true sequel.
Right
kind of like
on.
what Super Mario World is to Mario Brothers. That difference is huge.
Yeah.
Right? Try and do that. It won't be as big as Mario World, but whatever. But do that, and also we have other games we have going on. We're doing Colt County, which is getting back to our roots of a bloody survival horror game.
Nice.
So that'd be cool. Doing that, we have Treasure Naughts, which is another 2D platformer for the 3DS, but different. It'll be multiplayer. It's all about collecting treasure and going around and working together, or not, or just getting treasure. Basically, it'd be a fun platformer. So yeah, we have a bunch of different stuff going on. So all of the above. Staying busy, man. Staying busy.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah.
And then finally, obviously, you sound a little funny, right?
I do.
So you weren't born
Very
and raised in Texas.
Right.
What brought you to the States?
It was work. I mean, not a very exciting reason, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was applying for a job. I was working in London at the time. I applied for a job at Iguana Entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
In Northern England. They had a Northern England branch. I applied there for a job. And obviously they had the Californian HQ office as well. I wasn't applying to that because I didn't dream that I'd be moving to the States. So yeah, I applied to that, got the job at Iguana UK, and they're like, hey, we'll send you over to the US for training for a few months. And I was like about 18, 19 at the time. And I was like, vacation? Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll train, sure.
Train for beer drinking.
And just never looked back. Just never went back.
Right
It wasn't
on.
my intention. I think it was a good way to move, to make a massive move like that, was to not think you're making that massive move until you
Right.
get there and you're like, oh, I'll just stay. It's an easier way to digest it, I think, than go, I'm going to move to another country. That's a pretty bold move to make. So yeah, I kind of eased into it, and a few months after being in California, the whole company all moved down to Austin.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that was in 93. So 20 years.
You've been here since.
Yeah, 20 years. Wow. Cray.
Now you feel old.
Yeah, yes. And look, got the old whiteness going on.
Well, hey man, I definitely want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, man.
We also
Good
got
hanging
some goodies
Swag.
that I'll be giving away. So to anybody who comments and rates and likes and also shares the video. I don't know how I can track the sharing,
You
but
got Mudds,
if
Bomb
you like,
Monkey, Colt County, Renegade Kid,
got tons of stuff.
stickers,
Anything that I don't keep, I'll give away.
badges, buttons, all kinds of good stuff.
Right on. So,
Oh, ATV Wild Ride, that's
yeah,
right.
awesome stuff.
Yeah, we've even done a racing game, so we like to try different things.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Well, Jools,
Yeah,
thank
thanks,
you
man.
so much.
Cheers, dude.
I definitely appreciate it. And guys, thank you. Please support Operation Supply Drop.